going on, Jerome's? It's a beautiful Wednesday, and birds are indeed chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. Hold on, wrong Chiron. There we go. Nailed it. All right, so first off, I feel like this has just been the week of Florio just being sort of the mouthpiece for Kirk Cousins and his agent. I don't know, man, but it's weird because for so many years, Florio hated Kirk Cousins. You know, harped on Monday Night Football record and all that stuff, but now I don't get it. Like, I don't really understand the full 180, but he was on Pat McAfee's show yesterday saying he's been in this industry for 23 years. I drive a Dodge Stratus, but Florio said this, quote, "When I talked to Kirk Cousins, I got the sense that maybe there was a little frustration that the Vikings let it go too far down the tracks. The Vikings are risking losing him by not getting a deal done when they had the exclusive ability to do so." All right, so I kind of got that vibe too, where, I mean, Kirk may have his feelings hurt a little bit. It's like, well, if they really wanted me, they would give me a multiple year guaranteed deal, but they didn't this offseason. They didn't last offseason. And for someone who has always said, you know, the business is the business is the business, and vacuumed up nearly every single available nickel and dime, the fact that the Vikings are standing on business in this spot, and again, like I said, I respect the hell out of the stance that Kwesi has taken. We want you back for 1 year for X amount of dollars. We're not going to guarantee 2025. We're not going to guarantee 2026. And, you know, I respect the way that Kirk has played the last couple of years under Kevin O'Connell. And it's so weird because Kirk came out and said basically, you know, I've been blessed financially. It's not always about the money. It's about the structure. It's about the respect. It's about wanting to be there. But the team wants him here. But if all that it matters is dollars and cents, then leave. That's it. Where I feel like he's taking for granted the fact that Justin Jefferson has gone to bat for him. The fact that Brian O'Neill, the fact that all of his teammates have gone to bat for him in public. They love him. They want him back. Kevin O'Connell said the same thing. But what it comes down to is like, hey, I understand that all you guys love me and we have great receivers. We have great tackles. We have offensive-minded head coach. That Florida's defense is going to get better and better. We have a chance to win a Super Bowl here in Minnesota. Atlanta's going to pay me a couple of dollars more and guarantee some money in 2025, so I'm out. Deuces. That's basically what it's coming down to. And it's a little bit frustrating. But it is what it is. But the Vikings are in a great spot to find the future franchise quarterback. Plus, we've entered inflection season, which is great. This is from Purple Persuasion. Interesting discussion between Gessling and PA on the mic today on KFan. Paul Allen, Kirk Cousins, a goner. Monday is a name. Gessling, well, yeah. I don't know what guessing sounds like. Well, yeah, I think that the Kevin O'Connell interview from Saturday certainly shifted my thinking. It was actually on Sunday when he was talking during the O-line portion about how Kirk has earned the right to be a free agent, and he's a process guy, and this is a process, blah, blah, blah. Paul Allen, we now chatted with Kevin a million times, so when the inflection of his voice changes a certain to that of resignation, which is what I felt I heard early Saturday. And then Gessling, it was a different inflection that he had earlier in the week at the combine. Actually, no, he did talk on Saturday. I'm wrong. Doesn't matter. You can kind of read the way O'Connell says things. So basically now not only is a body language season, it's inflection season. And I mean, yeah, Kevin O'Connell at the start of the combine when he talked to the media jackals, you know, he did sound pretty hopeful. But on Saturday, it was more resigned to the fact that Kirko probably gone because it's almost like the conversations took place between Kirk's agent and the Falcons. Again, we are entitled to financial compensation. Your finest second round picks. That's all, man. But either way, Vikings are good to go, finding their quarterback of the future. Also, speaking of the future, so the Vikings looking towards free agency could certainly use a little bit of help at cornerback on the outside. And a really good one with ties to Kevin O'Connell is hitting the market. Rap sheet, go. The Jaguars are planning to release cornerback Darius Williams, source said, in a move to create cap space. He had a $10.5 million cap hit. He had 9 passes defended and 4 interceptions last season. Now, Williams, He is north of 30, but an 85.3 PFF coverage grade last year, which was tied for 5th best in the league. He is only 5'9", a buck 87. Played a little bit in the slot with Jacksonville last year, but primarily was on the outside. Was an outside corner last year. Now, the Jaguars defense was in shambles last year. Jaguars defense was bad. There's a reason why Doug Peterson fired the entire defensive staff and D coordinator Mike Caldwell, but Williams is good. Williams was really good last year. Like Rap Sheet said, 4 interceptions. PFF had him pegged at 15 passes broken up, a 69.6 quarterback rating when thrown at. Nice. And he does have some crossover. Initially, he was with the Rams from 2018 to 2021. A couple seasons of crossover with Kevin O'Connell. Now, obviously, different sides of the ball, but Kevin O'Connell practiced against Darius Williams every single week. He knows how he plays. He knows how he practices. He knows how he is in the locker room. So, I mean, this would be a great spot. And also, since he was cut and does not count into the compensatory pick formula. Plus, since he was cut, he doesn't have to wait until the start of the new league year, March 13th. So the Vikings could make a move here and pick up a really solid cornerback at a very good price. Also, speaking of corners, so Tyler Dragon, that's his real name, over at USA Today. I wish I was more into Game of Thrones. So I know a lot of people love Game of Thrones. The wife was really into Game of Thrones, but I just never... I don't know. Whenever there's a dragon, I'm out, which I know is weird because I'm Asian, but yeah. Anyways, Tyler Dragon, USA Today reports multiple teams interested in L'Jarius Sneed, blah, 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 blah. So we got the franchise tag, and the Chiefs are likely looking for a tag and trade situation, but how much is the comp going to be? And the Vikings are listed along with the Colts, the Titans, Patriots, Lions, Falcons, and Jaguars as teams that could be in on the Chiefs' corner if he keeps his helmet on. Sure, but... yeah, I sort of shied away from this one because the Vikings, I mean, they don't have a third-round pick, which probably would be the sweet spot for a trade in this spot. I'm not really thrilled about giving up the second, and of course, the first-round pick is off the table. So I don't know, do they want a fourth and a fifth? Do they want a pick swap? Maybe the Chiefs second-rounder for the Vikings second-rounder and a fourth? I don't know. And then you got to pay Sneed on top of that. Whoa, where are we going? But again, L'Jarius Sneed, he's solid. I think that he would do very well in the Florida scheme on the outside here, but I don't know. Like, would the juice be worth the squeeze? I'm not really would not be really thrilled about giving up draft picks, but also would not be really thrilled. All right, so Russ, I understand that Russ, because of his contract quirk, the Broncos owing him $39 million, he could sign here for the league minimum, blah blah blah, but I don't know. Like, it would be clear that he's only a 1-year deal. I don't know if Russ would want to be here, since the Vikings, even if they did sign him, would obviously be in on drafting a quarterback for the future. So Russ, I mean, if he wants to play in 2025, would be finding a new team. So I don't see the Vikings as a spot for him. I see the Raiders as a very logical spot for him to go because knows the division now. Also be a good way to get back at the Broncos plus the Raiders. I think that he and Antonio Pierce, would see eye to eye. I think that he thinks that obviously he could beat out Aiden O'Connell and company. Plus, he got Devontae Adams. So I think the Raiders actually at 275. These odds are via DraftKings, by the way. 275. I kind of like it. Yeah, because Falcons, no. Steelers, I don't see it now because, lately it's come out that they seem really committed to Kenny Pickett for whatever reason. So I think they're out. Patriots, I think the Patriots are probably going to take a quarterback at 3 and just build with a young QB as opposed. I mean, the Patriots are a long ways away. But if they were a veteran-laden team that had a Super Bowl window, maybe you could see Russ signing up there for a 1-year deal, but nah, I just don't see it otherwise. Speaking of quarterbacks in the draft, so our guy Thor Nystrom, so he has been a J.J. McCarthy truther, and rightfully so. I mean, no one watches more college football than Thor, and he's got a very good finger on the pulse of what's going on, and he thinks that McCarthy has elite traits, and he's going to be great. And he pointed this out, NFL Draft Files. J.J. McCarthy is one of the most efficient quarterbacks on third down we've ever seen enter the draft. He practically broke the chart with how clutch he was. McCarthy should be a top 5 pick when it's all said and done. So the chart, I always forget which is X and which is Y. X is horizontal, right? Anyways, so the X on this is conversion rate on third down. Move the chains. And the Y-axis is quarterback passer rating on third down. Now, this is a college quarterback passer rating, which has no limit, as opposed to NFL, which is 158.3. So McCarthy converts on just shy of 66% of third downs, and also has a college quarterback rating of around, looks like 172-ish. So that's pretty damn good. Now, you could say, is he constantly facing a lot of third and shorts because of the Michigan running game? Sure. Also, what kind of throws is he has to make on those third downs? Sure. But, I mean, you can't. I mean, the data is the data. And, Jaden Daniels, Bryce Young, Bo Nix, C.J. Stroud all seem to have pretty high college quarterback ratings on third down. Their conversion rate is about 50% less so. Richardson, yeah, that guy, don't worry about that guy. But McCarthy, Kevin O'Connell talks about traits. He talks about throwing with anticipation, making plays within structure, throwing an accurate ball, throwing players open, and I think McCarthy has shown that. And yeah, it is a limited sample size because of the Michigan offense and the fact that they just beat the piss out of everyone. So, but I think McCarthy's going to be good. And I think the league is going to think so too. Someone else is going to be good. So Christian Boyd, the pride of Northern Iowa. So he's a nose tackle. He slimmed down, looked great at the East-West Shrine Bowl. I think that he's going to have a little bit of wiggle as well as a pass rusher. Reportedly, he's going to be meeting with the Vikings as a top 30 visit per Persuasion. Northern Iowa defensive tackle Christian Boyd will have a pre-draft visit with the Vikings. Boyd is 6'4", 317, was a standout at the East-West Shrine Bowl. Just said that. A good run defender and above-average pass rusher. Boyd would fill a huge hole on the Vikings defensive line. His grade, being graded via PFF, 2023, 81.1, etc. And with Christian Boyd, I mean, he was obviously a combine snub, should have been in that mix. I don't know why he wasn't put all up in there, but last year 90 tackles, 22.5 tackles for loss, 10.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and he's just a guy that can stand up against a run. He can two-gap a little bit. I think that he can be a three-down defender, and I think that he can be a short to medium pass rushing nose tackle as well. So I think that he's a guy that has a lot of upside, and also with the Vikings, I think he'll probably slate in to that 4th, 5th round area. So grabbing him one of the fourths, I would not be mad at all. So it's really great that they're doing their due diligence here. I think that Boyd is going to be a hell of a professional football player. Also a hell of a professional. Graham Barton. So I love JPJ. I love Christian Mahogany. I love Christian Haynes. I love everyone. I love everyone on the interior offensive line, man. But I'm ready to go to war for Graham Barton. I'm ready to just put it on the table. Louis Riddick is too. Duke offensive lineman Graham Barton going to be an all-pro. Only thing yet TBD is at which offensive line position. Straight up nasty with how he finishes every block with power and attitude. Love the tape. And he is a big-time finisher. And he played left tackle primarily at Duke, but shortish arms, so figures to kick inside at the next level. 6'4", 313, strong hands. Finisher of blocks, destroyer of worlds, winner of stalemates. He has great body control, really good bend, really good anchor, which is important. And I think that his best position is going to be center. I mean, high football IQ, really getting after it. And 11's too early. Probably won't be there at 42. I think he'll be at the back end of the first round. But the Vikings do maneuver a bit, or whether it's a trade down or trade up. I would love to see Graham frickin' Barton in purple. It reminds me a lot of Ryan Jensen. Frankly. Also, fortunately, the Chargers released Eric Kendricks. Now, Kendricks actually played very well for the Chargers this year. 117 tackles, 3.5 sacks, but a bit of a cap casualty here, and he is 32 years young, and I don't know. Like, I don't see the Vikings bringing him back, and with Kendricks, he's got interests outside of the game. He's got a growing family. LA is home for him, so I don't really see him relocating is like, I don't know, like the Bengals call up. Is he gonna move to Cincinnati? Probably not. Nah. But so this might be it. But either way, big time respect for Eric Kendricks. Always loved his game. He was always one of the most underrated off-ball linebackers in the game. One of the best cover linebackers for many years, and he was great with Anthony Barr, UCLA. Go way back like chiropractic, but yeah, this is it. I love Eric Kendricks, man. He's great. Lastly, so I know that Saquon wasn't franchise tagged, and I know he's 27, and I know he's had injuries throughout the years, but dude is a dog. Dude is just a dog. Like, all he wants to do is win. He will fight you every single play. He's a 3-down back. He's a great pass protector. He's a solid receiver. Can run between the tackles. Still has that burst and then get out on the edge. So I don't know. Like, it would fly in the face of the Moneyball approach. Spending up big at running back, especially an older running back. I mean, he's roughly the same age as when the Vikings gave up on Dalvin Cook, but I don't know. Our guy, Eli Corbett, always on the ball. It's fantastic, man. But that's it. That's it. Vikings news dump on this beautiful Wednesday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.